Welcome to another episode of the Comedy Krow podcast. It's episode 15, I think. If it's not, I'll bleep that part out. I'm Christopher, your host, Christopher Keith Tyler, CKT Comedy. Then we have the wonderful and lovely, beautiful love of my life, the wife of my life, the one and only Amy Quirk, everybody. And in our special, thank you. I love you too. And then our special guest this evening is Pablo Rivera. Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah. Oh, your mic's not on. Oh. There you go. Turn that on. There we go.
There we go now.
And then just hold the base of the mic so the static. There we go.
Like that?
Like,
I think
just like that.
Yeah, you can hear.
Just pretend you're enjoying it.
So, Pablo,
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about yourself. When did you first start doing stand-up? How did you get into it?
Okay, so, oh man, so you got to go way back, like I think over 25 years ago. I'm from Orange County, born and raised in Santa Ana.
Me too.
No.
I was born in Riverside, but I grew up in Orange County.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Whereabouts?
First off, it was Anaheim, Placentia,
Okay.
Yorba Linda,
Okay.
right around there.
All those areas. Okay.
Yeah.
I know them very well. Very well.
Yeah.
But so anyway, how I got started actually in acting. Took a commercial acting class and got an agent and started, doing that whole thing and stuff. But they just kept sending me on industrials. I'm like, man, I want to do movies. I want to do film. And they're like, you're sending me on another industrial. I'm like, yeah, but it pays $800 for the day. I'm like, oh, okay, cool, industrials. And I was a kid. I was like 21, 22 at the time. So anyways, I started doing that. Then I started writing. And then a friend of mine, he was a poet. He's like, consider him like a brother. And so he was doing an open mic poetry night Thursdays at this place called the Santora Building. I don't think it's there anymore.
We just last episode, Kells Barksdale does poetry comedy.
He
Really?
does.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
That's so crazy.
ironic.
What a coincidence that
Yeah.
back-to-back episodes of poetry.
Yeah,
Interesting.
Yeah. So I went and I went a couple times. I was doing a little bit of poetry, a little bit of spoken word and whatnot. But it's like I did the acting, did the theater and the whole thing, but I always wanted to do comedy. And I'm like, but I didn't know how to get started. So I'm like, I told my buddy, his name's Alexander, or Coatlicoyot is his warrior name. And he's an interesting guy. But anyway, so I said, hey, man, you mind if I do comedy? He's like, yeah, we'll do whatever you want. Cool. So I started doing, like 2 minutes here and there and stuff. And then I ended up co-hosting with him. But it was just 2 minutes here, 1 minute there. I would tell some jokes or whatever. And then after that, I got invited to a place called Steamer's Cafe. Again, I don't know if it's there anymore. It was in Fullerton. And so that was like my first time doing stand-up. Actually, I think I did like 3 or 4 minutes or whatever. Pretty sketchy, pretty scary in front of people. But
It's better to do it in front of people.
yeah. And it was crazy because, you never know. And again, I knew nothing about.
Oh, there you go.
Oh,
There.
There.
You're good.
yeah. I knew nothing about comedy. Sorry.
You're
Knew
good.
nothing about comedy other than, just my favorites, watching everybody on TV, Richard Pryor. Grew up with Richard Pryor, Cheech and Chong, all the, just listening to the albums and stuff. And anyway, so I did it and I got this really cool reaction. And it was just kind of like, it was almost like, oh my God, I want to do this now. And so then after that, I got invited to this Latino amateur comedy night by a gentleman by the name of Emilio Rivera. So Emilio at the time, he was doing little films here and there. Eventually, he got on Sons of Anarchy. He was Alvarez.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He's a good friend, old friend. And
Cool.
and
I love connection. Like
yeah.
Oh my
and
God,
then
we know.
yeah.
It's
I
like
mean, it's
the
a small
7
world.
steps to Kevin Bacon kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
I love that.
Yeah, it's a small world. And so then he's all, hey man, he goes, you want to do some comedy? I do this Latino nights. I'm like, oh yeah, cool, man. I'd love to. He goes, oh, how many minutes do you want to do? I'm like, I don't know, 3-4 minutes. Okay, cool. So I go down there. Keep in mind, I had only done the small little open mic stuff. And then the Steamer's Cafe was also like a tiny little club. Well, I get there to the place and it's at the Barnstall Arts Gallery complex or whatever. It's like a 500 seat theater.
Nice.
Yeah, I get there and I'm like, oh man, yeah. Like I felt like my soul left my body, and it's like, and there was a lot of people there too, and I'm like,
Great.
oh my god, like what am I doing? Like I was like, but anyways, I went out.
Here, your mic. Here, hold right here.
Sorry, there you go. How's that?
Let's see. There you go. What the heck is wrong with this thing? Okay.
Not me. It's probably the.
There.
It's not the mic. It's me.
No, what? Maybe hold the base of it, the bottom. There you go.
There, like that.
Yeah, mess
There.
with it. Yeah,
There you go, like that. There.
There you
Sorry
go.
about the mic.
I won't move.
That's
That's
crazy.
okay.
We've
That's
never
okay.
had that issue before.
No.
Of course, until I
We're
walked in.
upgrading. We're upgrading.
Okay.
No,
Yeah.
man. So anyway, so I did that, and I ended up doing like 2 and 3 shows, and then that's kind of how it started. And then
How did the wait? How did the show go? The 500
Yeah.
house. That's a big.
actually
show.
it went real well. There wasn't 500 people there, but it was like a 500 seat.
Yeah.
But there was probably like, I would say probably like a couple hundred people there. So there
That's
was a lot
cool.
of people. The thing of it is that what I learned early on is that I didn't like that for the reason that the lights are super bright. And then the audience, you can't see them. I could only see like the first 2 rows.
Yeah, that's that club feel.
Yeah. And so I knew right away, I'm like, man, you know what? No, I want to go back to doing, little, because I can see the faces and I can see the
Right.
reactions. There, I couldn't really see the reaction. So even if people are laughing, 3rd, 5th, 6th row or whatever, you don't hear it. So then you think you're bombing. So then it's just like, well, at least for me, it's just like, and then I get into my head, I'm like, oh shit. And I panic. And then, yeah, you got to act goofy and try to get out of it. And so, but no, it went really well. And then, so I did that like 3 times. Took 2nd place on one of them, so I thought I was pretty stoked.
Congrats.
That's awesome.
I got beat out by like a Mexican country singer or some shit. I don't know. I'm like, wait a minute, isn't this comedy amateur night? We're like, what the hell?
That's really good for like if it's a across the board talent and then a comedian comes in second.
Yeah.
That says a lot.
Yeah.
You were a house favorite.
Yeah. So then I did that, and then I started. Then I formed my own theater company. So did that. I ran that for about 10 years. And that's what I was telling you. It's like I appreciate what you do because it's like it's such hard work. People don't see the behind the scenes stuff. They don't see you getting there early or even getting up early and planning your day, getting there early, setting up the equipment, doing this and that. We just show up and it's like, oh, cool. Give me my time. Okay, peace out. But I know firsthand what that's like. You know what I mean? And I used to set up everything: the lighting, the sound, the concession stand. I mean, everything. You know what I mean? The ticket sales. I mean,
Yeah, you're a walking theater.
I was doing the whole thing. Because I was so passionate about it. But anyway, so then that happened. I did the theater, so I kind of left the comedy for a little bit and was doing that, concentrating on that. And then I moved to Riverside, and then I was like, okay, well, I'm going to start something in Riverside. This was in 2002 or something like that. I can't remember. And so I was going to do that, and then things happen. I don't want to put a damper on this podcast, but I mean, things happen. There was a couple tragedies that happened in my family. You know what I mean? I lost a couple people that were really close to me.
Right.
And it just kind of like, I just stopped everything. I was just like, you know what? I just need to devote the time to the family. And that's what I did. I got a job at Home Depot. I planned to be there for 1 year. And then it was 2 years. And then, and it was just like that. I used to see the guys with the badges walking around with the 10-year badge, 15. I'm like, that's never going to be me.
No way.
No way. There's no freaking way. And all of a sudden, next thing you know, they're handing you your 10-year badge.
Yeah.
And then your 15-year badge. And I'm like, oh, shit. You know what I mean? It's just crazy. Yeah, it's crazy.
You're in a coma.
Yeah. And I mean, there's more to the story. I mean, there was a film that I was going to get done. It was being produced, and it was one of those things. It was a independent film. I had written it. I got a bunch of kids from Chapman University Film School. We were all going to do it. It was going to be a $30,000 budget. But then one of the guys, he was related to a guy named Gary Goldstein. So Gary Goldstein is this big producer in Hollywood. He produced Pretty Woman with Richard Gere and
I love that movie.
yeah, Richard Gere and Julia Roberts, right? And among other films. And so they told me, yeah, we gave it to Gary, and Gary read it, and he liked your script. I'm like, get out of here. He's going to call you. I'm like, get out of here. So he called me.
What?
Yeah, he called me, and he's like, hi, this is Gary Goldstein. I actually thought they were pranking me. I thought my friends were pranking me. And I'm like, no, it's not. He's all, no, this is Gary Goldstein. I'm like, dude, stop bullshitting me, okay? Yeah, he's all, this is Gary Goldstein. Like on the last one, I'm like,
Okay.
wait, yeah, and it was like, it didn't sound like any of my friends. Like it sounded like an actual guy, and I'm like, oh
Yeah,
shit.
you sound like a Gary and an Goldstein.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh yeah, hi, Mr. Goldstein. He's like, oh yeah, I would like to meet, in LA. So I met him in LA, and so again, it's a long story. I'll tell you that story in another time. But so we try to get that going, and this went on for, when you get the script actually got into, everywhere. HBO.
It takes a long time.
HBO. Well, here's a mistake I made, but it was HBO. It went to Mandalay Films. Miramax had it. Everybody had it. Like all of a sudden, I'm like this homeboy from Santa Ana, with a limited vocabulary. All of a sudden, it's just like I have this script that everybody's, it's hot. Everybody wants it. I'm like, what the hell? But the mistake that I made was that I didn't have representation. You need representation. I had an acting agent, but I didn't have a literary agent, and you need a literary agent to help you.
I had no idea. So when you write and you want to write for Hollywood, then have a literary.
You need a literary agent. Yeah, that just helps because they help you negotiate and whatnot. And I was just, I had a friend that used to work for an agency, but. It was it was CAA, one of the biggest agents, handles all the movie stars, but he didn't. I started working with him, and he was giving me all this advice, but now in hindsight, I think it was probably bad advice.
Hey.
Just like go in there and go in the meetings and demand this and which I shouldn't have done because who am I? Like I was just trying to learn, but I was just listening to him. He's like, don't get screwed and don't do this and don't do that. But it was like, no, it was the wrong way to go. So, and so it went into what we call development hell. And so it just went on and on.
Purgatory.
Purgatory, exactly. Because Cuervo Tequila was what the script was called 6 Shots Tequila. So what they decided is, hey, let's go to some of the tequila companies and see if they'll front some money. So Cuervo actually came in. They were going to come in with $1 million.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, right. I'm like going, oh yeah, I still have the letter too. It was like, but here's the thing. Here's the kicker. At that time, you got to remember we had no social media. We only had Blockbuster Video, Hollywood Video, whatever.
Yeah.
So their
cordless phones.
And your phone
beepers. Your phone could only go like
beepers.
100 yards.
Yeah, I worked for PageNet for 10 years, so I know. Everybody had a PageNet. But anyway, so what happened was that it was one of those things where it just kind of like went nowhere for 6 years. Like it went nowhere because they wanted. So Christina Aguilera had just come out with her Genie in a Bottle, right?
Oh shit.
Yeah, and so the script, by the way, it takes place in Mexico. It's a coming of age story. This kid falls in love, and then he's actually talking to his grandpa. He talks to his grandpa all the time for wisdom, but his grandpa died when he was a little kid, so it's kind of like a figment of his imagination, right? And so
that's a beautiful
I'll
start. I'm sorry,
thank
but
you. Oh, thank you.
I really
I appreciate that. I appreciate
intriguing.
that. It's actually kind of based on my life. I lost my dad when I was 10, and when I would go to school, all the kids were like, "Well, my dad took me fishing, and my dad did this." So they didn't know that my dad had passed, but I would say, "Oh, well, my dad's gonna take." So I kept him alive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh, my dad last weekend took me to. So it was kind of like, when I was writing the story, I'm like, oh, what if this kid had that same type of thing, right? So anyway, so after that, what they wanted to do is they wanted to replace. I found this actress. She's still to this day a good friend of mine. I just saw her. She was actually on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. She was Kennedy on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Right. Yari Limon, sweetest girl, best actress in the world, right? But I had cast her as the lead. Well, they wanted to replace her with Christina Aguilera. And I'm like, look, Christina, I'm sure, beautiful girl and everything, but can she act? Like, we don't even know.
I don't even think she was ever in a movie.
I'm going, okay, like she has contracts and they're trying to fulfill something.
And years later, she did what was it called? The one with Cher, where she was at the club.
I don't know.
That movie, I can't remember what it was called, Cabaret or something. Was it Cabaret? Or
it sounds so familiar.
Moulin Rouge or something like that.
It's not
I don't know.
Mulan,
Yeah, it
but-
wasn't.
You know what I'm talking about, though, right?
Yeah.
So by then,
I
I'm
know
like,
the name.
she could act and stuff. But at the time, And I'm like, no, please don't do this. And I had Emilio Rivera cast. I had Danny Trejo. Danny Trejo's an old friend of mine. Machete, right?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I had all the who's who of Latino actors back then in this script because it was just kind of like, it was a small community. Everybody knew each other. And one guy reads it. You know, if you have a good product, or how would I say it? An interesting story, I should say that. You know what I mean? Interesting story. They're going to pass it along. I'm like, hey, man, do you know this person? Like, yeah, we know. So then they start, it's networking. You know what I mean? You start, I'm like, and only like, hey, man, I'll give you Tony Plano's number. I'll give you Danny Trejo's number. Okay, cool. And
it reminds me of those like boxing documentaries where like if it's a passionate story, people come out of the woodwork to help you.
Yeah,
and like
they really did, man. And I mean, even Danny, like when he showed up because we were already rehearsing for the film, and when he showed up, I was like, oh my! He had already done Replacement Killers with Mira Sorvino and Chow Yun Fat. And so he was like already like up there. Then when he showed up, I'm like, oh my God, like I can't believe, like I was a fan, you know, and I was like, oh my God. I was trying not to be starstruck. I was trying to be, oh, you know, hi Danny, you know, I was like trying to be cool. But inside I was like, oh my God, it's freaking Danny Trejo. And yeah, and then and it's funny because he told me, he goes, hey man, he goes, I really appreciate you for this role. I had him as a role of a father. Because keep in mind, he was only doing killer roles. He, you know, he was, you know, bank robber. He was only doing these roles. Nobody had ever given him a role like that. And he was like, hey man, I really appreciate that, man. You know, just kind of, I'm like, no, dude, I see you as this character. And so, and then later on when Spy Kids come out, you know what I mean? I was like, oh man, I mean, because they got, you know, Robert, well, he's related to him. And so Robert got the first opportunity to show him as a softie, you know what I mean? And I missed that part, but.
He's like, do I get to kill anybody?
Right. Yeah. Well, no, it was, yeah. So anyways, but, so then after that, after the 6 years, you know, and there's way more to the story that happened. But anyways, in a nutshell, I walked. I was kind of like tired. I was brokenhearted. I was just like, you know what? Because what people don't realize is that when you get to when you get to playing with the big fish, they're like, oh yeah, we like your script, but it's at the bottom of a stack of, you know, 50 scripts. And the 50 scripts they're doing is directors that have already won Academy Awards. They want, you know, they're going to do their films first. I get it. You know what I mean? So you're kind of like, oh, we'll get to you. So after 6 years, I kind of like, I walked, got the job at Depot. I go, you know, I'll be here for a year. And so 23 years later, I'm like, I still want to do comedy. I want to do comedy like bad. So I started looking around at all the open mics and stuff, and I found Shamrock, and I'm like, oh my God. Actually, I'd known about Shamrock for quite a while before I went by. Because again, and as a matter of fact, I don't know if you know this, but I went a couple times and watched the open mic. I didn't participate or anything. I just wanted to see. Yeah. And I was looking up there, and I'm like, and then, you know, I was like, man, I don't know. I was driving home, like, nah, you know, maybe I just, you know what I mean? Maybe, you know, forget the stupid dream. You know, it's like, what am I thinking about comedy at my age? You know, 'cause old as hell. I'm like, you know what? No. But I get home that night and take out the notepad, and I just start. I don't know. I just started thinking of some funny stuff, so I started scribbling and writing. And that's the one thing too. When I walked, I never stopped writing. I continued writing for those 20 years or whatever it was. And so finally, one night it was like a you know, comedy competition, and I'm like, let's just go do it, you know. And so I went. Oh, by the way, in 2020 I got hurt at Home Depot, and it was pretty catastrophic. Hurt my spine. I was on a ladder, boxes, and that's a whole long story. Hurt my back. 2020, that was the end of the career. I made it to about 19 years.
Did you get the surveillance footage?
I don't have the surveillance footage, but they have it because they have cameras everywhere.
You gotta get it.
I know, right?
You should have the rights to that.
I know, right?
And just make some residual.
Exactly.
Dude, I did all right with my footage of me getting thrown off stage at a Solaris.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Thrown what?
It was an accident. There was a large gentleman that catapulted me.
Someone.
Yeah, oh my
and he like just he kind of tripped.
He lost his
balance.
balance.
Oh my God!
And
are you serious?
And he flung me across the room.
Hi, Chris.
What the?
Yeah, my knee was all jacked up.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah,
who would have known, man? Doing comedy, man. It's like, that's
so
crazy.
dangerous.
Yeah. So
Chris has to wear a helmet now.
Oh my God. Back brace, the whole thing. Yeah. So I went, man, and it just, for me, I can't speak for other comedians, but for me, it's kind of like if I can go up there and I'm landing like a couple good jokes and people are having a good time, it's like a drug. It's kind of like, I'm like, oh my God, I really like this. I really like the feeling
It's like
of
a hit song.
Yeah. I like that connection with the people. And so, yeah, man, that's basically kind of like how it kind of started, So if I total the time of back in the day that I did it and what I did now, it's really hasn't even been a year, it's been a few months, I would say. Stage time. Yeah.
Right.
Of stage time. Cause, and I think, I don't know if you remember too, I was just kind of like, I don't know, I think it was in April or May that I was starting. And then in July is when I stepped on that spike and it went right through my luck, right through my foot. It, severed an artery, had to go into emergency surgery. And it was just like, and it was just like 6 weeks of pure hell. And so that took me back out, you know what I mean? And I'm like,
oh my God.
Yeah. And I'm like going, man, are you telling me something? Like, should I not be doing like what the heck? So it was so good, man, to survive that, because I literally could have died, you know what I mean? I didn't know I could have died, but could have died from that, you know what I mean? Like who the hell said, I didn't even know I had arteries in the bottom of my feet, you know what I mean? Like I didn't know.
It's all of your whole body runs down in your feet, hands, and ears.
Yeah.
All your nerve endings.
Yeah. So that was that. And so, once I was able to walk again for the second time, even after the injury, I got to get back. I got to get back. And so I did, man. So I thank you, man, so much, man, because you were like, yeah, man, come on out. You were just so welcoming and I just appreciate that, man. I really, really do. You know what I mean?
You're one of the good people.
Thanks, man. I try to be.
You have a big heart, and it shows
I
through
try.
Text as well. So
I try.
No, you do great. You don't even have to try. It's you. We're happy to have you back, and it was, and like you forwarded us to that family that needed support, and we did the fundraiser for them.
That was amazing, man.
At Shamrock, and
that,
but that was your idea, and like I was like, I want to help.
Yeah, I mean, and that's another thing too. It's just like I'm giving you shout outs because, I've been in those situations too where you call upon people and they're like, oh yeah, I'll help out. And then 2 weeks later, like, hey man, you said you were going to help out. And they're like, well, yeah, I'll help you out next week. And they kind of don't. You like didn't hesitate. Like that night, I think you said, hey, I'm going to put something up at the, at the Shamrock. And then like by the next day, you're like, hey, you know what? I'm donating money to their GoFundMe. And then for the next, what was it like for the next month? I think
the month.
Yeah. So I thought, like, who is this guy? Like, you know what I mean? I was just like, man, who does that? Like, that's pretty cool. You know what I mean? That's like, nobody does that. You know what I mean? Like right away, somebody you don't know. And, so it was, man, those kids, man. It's like
Integrity Farms.
Right on. Integrity.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But,
if you say you're going to do something, do it because like,
there's a lot of people that don't.
Yes.
And do you not notice that? Do you not notice like someone's like, oh, hey, yeah, I'll go to your show, or hey, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And they don't even show up.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
oh, yeah.
And it goes so many different ways in your life.
Yeah.
And it happens all the time. And it happens with family all the time.
Yep.
Hey, you know what? My family's been there. Like they go to all my shows, but so
I got tired. Laundry called.
Yeah, laundry called. No, my family. I mean, they've been pretty supportive. They try to go all the shows, and stuff, and but no, I know what you mean. I know when I had my theater company, I was putting on the plays, and again, back then, no social media, so I was doing we called them press releases. So I was, I had all the numbers for all the news agencies and stuff. So I'd type it up and I'd fax away. I'd be sitting there faxing, hoping the manager doesn't come into the copy room. Just freaking faxing away, right?
Yeah.
And but you know what? Oh yeah, we're gonna come to your show. They wouldn't show up. They wouldn't show up. They wouldn't show up. I was like, man, it's just kind of crazy.
Your best fans are strangers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So true. Yeah. So true.
Don't even like.
So true.
Usually the friends and family will come for the first like 6 months, maybe, if that. And then after years go by, it's no, they're not, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Like, I don't.
Yeah.
They're waiting for you to. I don't know if they're waiting. I don't know what they're waiting for.
Yeah, right. They want you to blow up, and then like, hey, you know.
And they also like that.
That's exactly. We've talked about this recently.
Yeah.
That's like the only time they give a shit is if you're making millions and millions of dollars and everyone knows you.
You hear it.
Stupid.
You hear it all the time with like celebrities and whatnot, and they're like, like Lamar Odom. He used to play for the Lakers, and that happened to him too with his dad. His dad was never in his life, but once he made it to the NBA and started getting those millions, his dad was coming around, and so
how sad.
Yeah. I think Quentin Tarantino too. That he went through that too.
Yeah,
didn't he discuss that in his book? Right.
Yeah. I believe. Well, I didn't read the book, but there was a couple of interviews where he's mentioned that word. It's like, oh, now you're famous. Now, hey, hi, son.
Well, they'll say
it's like, no, dude.
Don't forget about the small people, the little. Don't
the
forget
little
about the little
right.
people. And you're like, well,
I'm sick of it.
I won't forget if you're there.
Right.
Like, I feel like at this point it's just more like I do my thing and. Whatever happens, cool.
Yeah.
And I'm going to expect the expected.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
My favorite's the when you find out that they shadow view you. Is that what it's called? Where they don't like your posts and they don't share or like or anything, but then they'll in conversation they'll be like, hey, I saw you did that one thing, and I'm like, how did you find that out? Oh, I saw the post. I'm like, you didn't want to
you just
let me know that.
hit the little like button,
cool.
man.
Yeah, cool,
give me
man.
a thumbs up, man. Something. Give me some love, man.
Yeah,
so
it's all good.
Yeah.
It's all about the views now, just eyes.
yeah, man. So
my favorite, I'm sure you'll come across this, is when they're like, hey, Pablo, are you still doing that comedy thing?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yep.
That's a fun one. You're like, yep. I'm not gonna stop.
Yep, that thingy over there. I'm doing
that thing that I'm grinding away at every day.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm still doing it.
The film thing too, because that's the funny part. When you're an actor, I mean, everybody's an actor in LA, right? When you're an actor, nobody wants to touch you, man. You know what I mean? Nobody. But they find out you're a writer, you're a director. Mm-hmm. Oh, hey, man, I had so many friends, and I'm like, man, what? Like, who are you? Like, I don't even. Like, and I was never a jerk, man. I was like, you know what I mean? I wasn't a dick to these people. I was like always cool, but I'm like going, man, it's just you get to see the fakeness. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. When you're over there, and they're invited. And I would very, very few. I only went to like a couple parties, but they're all about the parties and stuff. And I'm like,
because that's the networking.
The
one-on-one networking.
Yeah. But it's also is just. I don't know, man. It's like the red carpet thing. I never liked it. I got invited. I just recently got invited by this producer guy that I know. I just met him like a few months ago at a fundraiser.
Yeah.
And I actually went to go see another friend, and he was sitting with him, and I was talking. He asked me. He goes, "Hey, man, are you doing the film thing?" And I'm like, "Oh, well, I'm going back to I'm taking some courses at UCLA Extension." And I did one in April, and then I'm doing another one in June, right? And just trying to get back, to the
scene.
Just back to writing, back to I still want to do a short film. Hopefully by the end of this year, I'll do my first, and then by the beginning of the year, I'll do the second, and hopefully by the summer, I've got some stuff. But anyways, he just produced a film called The Long Game. And it's based on a true story of these. It's actually these Mexican guys. They were caddies back in the 50s, and they were caddies, but they went to this hill where nobody was at, and they started golfing themselves. And so this guy saw them, and was like, "What are you guys doing?" They're like, "Well, we're golfing." Like, so he got them to form this group in high school, and then, anyways, long story short, they started competing and winning and whatnot. But anyways, the one of the producers, a guy named Jesse. And he's been calling, and I'm like, hey man, I go, come see the comedy, come see the, I'm trying to invite him to come down, you know what I mean? So he's gonna come down actually one of these days, to come down and stuff, because
cool.
I got some. I've got some ideas, man. So I've got so many ideas that it kind of drives me nuts sometimes. I do have an idea for a sitcom too. So oh yeah. And And yeah, yep. And then definitely you get that thing rolling, man. We'll get you involved and stuff. So
that's very nice of you.
yeah. Well, yeah, man. You got to bring the good people along with you too, because like you're genuine. You know what I mean? That's kind of like.
He really. I mean, I know he's my husband, but I've known him for 24 years.
Okay.
And we've always been like this, friends, and
Nice.
he's always been the same wonderful person.
Really,
for real.
wow.
It's a weird.
It's amazing, man.
Yeah, I don't. People are like, you
He's just so
sweet. Is everything okay with you? I'm like, yeah, I'm not. I'm undiagnosed.
Are you all right? Are you all right?
Is it? Yeah, I don't.
Is a little autism going on there?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
No offense against autism.
No.
I have family that's
I'm finding out more and more that I might be on the spectrum all the time.
Me, man, with my ADD and everything. Jeez.
One of the
same
for you. Yeah.
I have like.
Oh my God, man.
Ticks and tricks.
Like
and
there's
Jesus.
a few that like hit home for me that I'm like, wow, how do you figure this stuff out? But they said that like if you sleep with your like fetal, like with your fist like this, autistic. I'm like,
no,
okay,
really?
Yeah.
But the funny thing, I apologize, but the funny thing about that is I sleep like that all the time,
right?
And I have since I can remember.
Yeah.
And not only that, which is funny as hell. 2 times, not once, twice, someone told me, because I always reference movies and like anytime I hear someone
That's another
talk.
one.
That's cool.
Anytime I hear someone talk, I always relate a song.
Oh.
Or like a lyric, right?
Wow.
Or
cool.
a movie. And I always make fun as a movie. And
Yay.
twice someone said, if you refer to movie, it means you're autistic. Twice.
I think if anybody says, I think the new one is if someone says, did you know that what you just did is autistic? Guess what? You're autistic.
You're autistic.
Yeah. If you're going around telling
me.
people that they're autistic, you're autistic.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so crazy. I used to quote movies all the time, and people were just like, "Huh?" And then I would have like, "Yeah, the movie with Tommy Boy. It's like Tommy went winging. They're like,
Yeah. How do you not?
fat guy in little coat, or whatever it is," and they're kind of like going, "No." I'm like, dude, you can go see the movie and stuff. So
Yogurt. I hate yogurt, even with strawberries.
The last one that I heard that was interesting was if you're walking along and you feel like a raindrop hit your forehead right here,
this morning,
and there's no rain or anything, autistic.
What?
Yeah, and I was like, that happens. I'll
that
wipe
happened
it.
after a funeral, and I thought he was talking to me. He's like, "Third eye, Amy, third eye, pay attention."
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, when Frank passed,
It's like a little angel kiss.
Yeah, there you go. That literally happened to me this morning too.
Yeah,
because I was like, going, "What the hell?" Like, it was kind of overcast, but I'm looking at the ground. I go, "There's no." Like,
I think these scientists are just, if they don't have an answer for it, autism.
Autism.
Yeah,
I think a lot of things are overly diagnosed, perhaps. But I think
you believe in
like our
ghosts.
system kind of sucks too.
Autism.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You're left-handed.
Autistic.
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 Yeah,
Wow.
that's right.
That's crazy, man.
Now, speaking of theater and like movies and like the way, and then like the after parties and like that whole realm, I think that's a good segue into our KAWspiracy segment.
Oh my God.
Where'd he go? Comedy Krow, where are you?
Comedy Krow.
Comedy Krow.
Where's the comedy? Did he fly away? Oh, I'm not sitting on him.
I think.
Am I? No. There's nothing behind me.
Where'd Comedy Krow go? Oh, he's right here.
Oh, there he is. Okay.
Hey, Pablo.
Holla.
How you doing, man? What's cracking?
What's up?
Yeah, man.
What's up, Beaky?
KAWmedy. KAWspiracy.
Yeah, we're on this KAWspiracy segment.
Okay.
So I was thinking right now, this is why I wore this. I threw this shirt on today because the whole movement of AI, artificial intelligence, is taking over everything. And one of the big one of the things Hollywood is freaking out about, how AI and deep fake technology. Now the conspiracy is, like, do you think that AI is gonna be like an overlord, like a president, maybe? Like, would you vote for an AI?
Right. No, probably not. But no,
If it knows
I mean,
everything?
well, here's the thing. Here's what's funny is that everybody's afraid of the AI, and I don't know who knows. Right now I think it's just starting out. Actually, no, it's not true. I had a friend literally like probably about 25 years now. Her name was Michelle Kim. I used to work with her, and she was Korean, and her father was a professor. I don't know what university. I'm like, oh, what does he teach? He goes, oh, he teaches AI. He teaches artificial intelligence. So even back then, I was like, oh, really? And she told me a little bit about it. I'm like, oh man, that's crazy. But yeah, the thing of it is there's a lot of AI. You see it on posts and stuff. And for me, like even some of the images, I can tell right away. I go, that's AI. I go, that looks like, you know what I mean? There's just something fake about it. It's not real about it. You know what I mean? I don't know.
You should
for
see
me,
what came out today.
Yeah.
Today they just Chat GPT,
Great.
after Google announced their AI capabilities yesterday. Chat GPT dropped a bomb this morning about they took. One AI is in a phone, and it had a female voice like Scarlett Johansson or something, like that movie Her. It's like getting like very much like Her.
Okay.
Did you see that movie Her?
I have not seen her.
Oh
but
man,
I've
you
heard
gotta
it.
watch
I've
it.
heard
You gotta
I've
watch
heard
it.
Her, yeah.
We're totally going that route, but
Yeah.
they're talking to her on the phone, and she sounds like a real person. And they're like, okay, we have another phone right here, and it's got a different AI, and it has a male voice. And this phone, it's gonna look around the room, and they asked the phone like, what do you see right now? And he's like, I see like a speaker, and like the ceiling's exposed, and like it looks really contemporary, and like you have a nice leather jacket, and like you look really slick, and like, and he's just, and then and they're like, what do you think about each other? And then they were talking, and they were like, oh, this is
So
really,
the AIs are conversing.
They're talking, and they're like, this is a lot of fun. Like, we're having a great time, and this is very exciting. And like, it was just so mind-boggling that
That's crazy.
Millions and millions of people have no idea what's around the corner, and I'm trying to stay up to speed with it so I don't like have a meltdown, because the robots are coming. The robots are on their way.
I know.
For sure.
Have you seen like ChatGPT? The BMW and ChatGPT have merged together, and they have this robot. It's like, and it's so fluid, and it's like picking up. It's putting
That new
dishes
robot.
away.
Yeah.
Putting dishes away, and the guy's like, tell us what you were doing right now, and like, why did you do it that way? He's as it's putting the dishes, or they are putting the dishes away.
Wow.
It's explaining what it did before, but like a person. And like,
That's crazy.
it's all coming really, really fast, and it's sort of scary. But my conspiracy theory is right now with Trump and Biden, both at and November's coming around the corner, and like the debate just got announced today that they're gonna debate.
Right.
Like, imagine something's gonna happen where both of them just collapse, and they'll be like, "What?" Everyone's gonna be like, "What do we do? What do we do?"
Yeah, yeah.
And then this
That's when
robot's gonna come walking
AI.
in.
It's gonna be like,
An AI Biden and an AI Trump.
and it knows
it's gonna be
everything.
a whole fiasco.
Yeah,
shit.
yeah. I mean, it's a possibility, but
Right.
I'm open to it.
Right.
Now, would you date an AI? Would you ever?
I wouldn't date an AI because
No?
because how are you gonna? I mean, no.
No.
I mean, conversation's everything, but,
Right. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
we are human.
Yeah.
I think.
We need a little more than
Yeah,
just
exactly. At the end, you do need that.
Compassion.
that hormonal contact. You know what I mean?
that
You got to get
vibe.
the. I don't think AI can give me my my pheromones. The way like a woman could. You know what I mean? So I don't know, or a man, or who whatever your
Yeah. I
whatever
think
the thing is, but
yeah.
yeah. So nah, man. I would give it a hard pass on that. Now, although I did see this one, because I'm into cars, I love muscle cars and all that. I did see this one car, and it was beautiful. Oh my God, it was like I think it was like a Buick Riviera. It was dropped. rims and everything, and the camera was kind of going around. And I'm like,
Hydraulics or air suspension?
I think it had an air suspension,
Okay.
but it was just like a video, and it was like a drone flying around it. And I'm like, oh my God, this car's beautiful. Everybody was like, oh, this is beautiful. And it was on Instagram. And somebody put, you guys do know that's AI, right? I'm like, son of a bitch. I'm like, what the?
Yeah, people
I'm
get,
like,
what
damn
is
it.
Yeah, you get car catfish.
Yeah. And so then I looked at it again like 2 and 3 times. I'm like, oh yeah, like if you look at it close, well, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I can see where
Probably some of the points and some of the curves are a little bit like wonky.
yeah, it's a little too fluid, like too. It was like too perfect, too dreamy, too perfect.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, but at first I was like, oh my God, this is like whoever has this car, man. Freaking, I'm like, if I hit the lotto, I'm gonna buy that car or build a car like that. It's like, oh my God, but yeah, AI. So yeah, I don't know. AI kind of pisses me off sometimes.
It's
so.
scary. It's scary.
It's tough because I think like AI can be used for so much good.
Yeah.
So much good.
Yeah.
The problem is like everything else, because this is AI, this technology is so new too. It could be used for something so bad and so destructive. And I think that's where it gets scary, because it doesn't matter what you do. It is never only going to be for just good.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like this acceptance, and then we create new laws, and then we create, restrictions, etc.
That's
so
why,
and
it's
that's
regurgitation of everything.
absolutely right. I think like and that's been with everything. I think it's our civilization. I think we're given these tools for the greater good, and then we just F it up, man, every single time. You know, like, oh, the right to bear. I really doubt that the founding fathers, with the right to bear arms, they imagine some freaking psycho going to a freaking high school with a high-powered, you know what I mean?
well, the
and then,
founding fathers had a musket.
Yeah, exactly. And so, and try to relate that. But what I'm saying is that it's kind of like we have abused our privileges,
Right.
and so with AI, like like she's saying, it's like it could be for the greater good, but you know what? Someone's going to grab a hold of it and just do whatever the hell they want, and then it's all hell's going to break loose, and that's not cool. I mean,
That's why
It's unfortunate.
Yeah. Every time, I'm very Google. I'm a big Google fan, and so when I use Google Assistant, for example, I'd say, "Hey Google, I just wanted to let you know, thank you very much for all your hard work. We appreciate you."
No worries. I'm here to help.
See, and so she's gonna log that, and then when the robots come and to wipe out humanity, they'll skip our apartment. That's what's gonna.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right on.
But this is where, we need to be kind all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to say like need, because we really should be in general.
Yeah.
But to keep that in mind, that eventually there might be some day where it's gonna kick your ass, or just be kind and shut the fuck up.
You should. If it grows flat, if it can produce itself and it has its own, it makes its own belly button, and like it's, and there's going to be a day where AI is going to want citizenship, and like, And are you comfortable with that?
The Jetsons.
You know what? The thing of it is, I know, right? So at the end of the day, I think that the will and the heart of a human being will still find a way to freaking beat that, and I mean, you see it now with people, what do they call them? Undocumented, I don't like using illegals, but unless it's a joke. But anyways, like the undocumented, they keep coming, like, and people are getting pissed. Oh, they're coming, this and this and that. And for me, it's kind of like, well, you know what? Some of their countries, they're not taking care of them. What are they supposed to do? This and that.
Yeah, this is America.
And so
open arms, come on in.
And so I've always, when Trump was first running, I don't do it anymore. But where I used to work, man, they were, it was a lot of Trump support, because that's what they rolled on. You know what I mean? That's what we're going to kick all the immigrants. What else are you going to do? What are you going to do for the Americans? Like, what are you going to do for the economy? What are you going to do for infrastructure? No, freaking, we're going to build a wall, and freaking, he was all. And so my argument was like, look, he can build whatever wall he wants all around the globe. Freaking electric fence where the wall ends, and you're never going to stop the will of the people. You're never going to do it. It's not going to happen. If somebody has it in their mind that they want to go to another country to better their life, to better their family, they're going to do it. You can't, not a computer, not a freaking wall. They're going to find a way. You know what I mean? And yeah, maybe some may die or whatever, and they do actually. But you know what? You're never, ever going to stop the will of the people. And so,
100%.
So for me, yeah, AI is scary. I'm not going to say it's not, because it's like, who knows? We don't know, we don't know, you know what I mean? But I don't know. The will of the human.
What about the AI having a will to be? It believes in itself, and it is like,
well,
I want to be like you, and I want to help you.
That's cool. Then you know what? Then I freaking go to school, learn AI, and I learn how to do the AI to freaking defeat the guy that says that I want to be like you.
Yeah.
But
so
there's always Johnny Five.
Yeah.
I mean,
Johnny Five's alive.
Johnny Five's
alive.
That's right.
Yeah. So I don't know.
What was it? Short Circuit, right?
Yeah, Short Circuit.
Great movie.
Is alive.
Yeah.
Ali Sheedy. I think it was Ali Sheedy was in that. Was she?
Gal from Breakfast Club.
Oh my God.
Yes.
I had
Yes.
such a
Girl from Breakfast
crush
Club.
on her. And when I was a kid,
Yeah, she had
watching her
like
with
a
all
little
her-
quirky look, but she was
so
cute.
cute.
She had all those kittens around her house, and I was that was the first time as a kid I was like, oh my God, I have an attraction towards the female gender.
You said that. No. Don't say that. That was your first.
No,
Because
it
your
was
first
one of the
was
first.
Gadget.
Gadget,
From,
from Chippendale,
Rescue Rangers.
Rescue Rangers. Also the squirrel from
Bambi.
no,
Sorry.
no. Sword in the Stone.
Oh
The
my
female
God, the sword in
squirrel?
the stone.
Dude, that squirrel.
Holy crap, dude.
I was like, Grandma, you
know what?
got to get out of here. I got to watch this squirrel.
Oh my God, dude. I remember going to the movie theater by myself to see that movie. It was in Costa Mesa, and I don't know, like some friends were gonna go, and then they freaking like flaked or some shit, I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna go see this movie, and I remember going, The Sword in the Stone. Oh my God, wow, you're going way back, bro.
Yeah, I also had a crush on the Sarah Jessica Parker. Is that right? From Flight of the Navigator? Flight of the Navigator.
Yeah,
Flight of the
that one.
Navigator.
Yeah, I had a mad crush on her too.
She was so
Crush.
cute.
Yeah, I was a horny little kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine was, I saw Labyrinth in the theater when I was, I think, 5.
Okay.
And
David Bowie.
Bowie.
You were like, steal me.
Okay. Wow, David Bowie.
Freaking
That's
5 though, and I was like, I didn't understand what I was feeling, but I was like,
right. You're like, oh my God, yeah.
I don't know what I'm thinking right now, but
Yeah.
it's so good. And
Isn't that
of course
crazy?
it's bold, but you know what? I remember I was in kindergarten because ever since that movie, I started drawing my stick figures with David Bowie hair. So all of my stick figures,
Yeah.
I
Looked
think
like
that's when I
Tina-
fell in love
Tina-
with guys with long hair.
Okay.
They all looked like a Tina Turner.
Yeah, they
Like all your stick figures.
all my stick figures. Oh, is that a
Tina
male or
Turner.
female? I don't know. Whatever you want it to be.
Dude, I have a crush on him in Labyrinth. He's captivating.
Sexy.
Yeah, he was.
Jeez.
He was a sexy man.
There's
yeah.
a few movies that I want to boycott, and that's there's talk of Labyrinth Part 2. No, dude.
no.
They have.
Look what they
that
did
has
with
to stop.
Neverending Story.
Right. Like,
Yeah.
don't even go there, dude.
Yeah, you-
like,
there's
you know
something-
how much
don't touch
blow Jim Henson and David Bowie had to do to come up with that movie? Like, there's no way.
A lot, man.
Right. No AI is
Wow.
going to be able to. Yeah, you can't pour a bunch of blow on top of a keyboard and make a movie.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, they're making. Sorry to point. I was just excited for a minute, but they're making a Jim Henson movie about Jim
yeah,
Henson.
the documentary.
Biopic.
Yeah.
Oh, a
And-
documentary or is
Yeah.
it a biopic?
It's Sorry, what's
Wait,
his
what's
name?
the difference? What's
Well,
the difference?
documentary is just kind of like a, you know what I mean? They're taking footage, interviews, and they're kind of like, a little bit
real
of narration. But a
time.
biopic is kind of like, there's an actor that plays him, and then they do a story.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Okay, no.
It's not that.
Okay,
yeah.
yeah. But that'd be kind of cool, though.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
To see someone play him.
It did, Tom Hanks did Mr. Rogers. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah, that's, like
Yeah.
a biopic. Yeah. So.
Well, it's been a pleasure having you on the show.
Oh
Thanks
man,
for
it's
opening
fun.
up.
A lot of
You have
fun, man. This is my
such
first
history.
podcast ever. I've never done a podcast before, and it all started because I'm like going, "Hey, man," because again, you know what I mean? I can't praise him enough. You know, he was, and I know you're super busy with your with the festival and everything, and he took the time, like an hour. We were like texting back, forth, calling, and he took the time to give me some pointers on, because I was thinking about doing my own open mic, you know, in Riverside, because it's just, Riverside is just, I don't know, it's just really weird. I
It's a melting pot.
There's a need for comedy, because I know when I go to this little brewery, it's like I go and it's just like they love it. But then I look around for other ones, and well, yeah, there's this one, and I show up and it's all karaoke and music, and even though it's cool because they let me go on anyway, but I go, you know what, it really really needs one. So anyways, he took the time. I appreciate that, and you know, so. Once I get that ball rolling, man, hopefully you can come out and be the, you know, the inaugural comedian out there. And
don't make a big, don't hype me or anything. Just it'll be fun to come support.
I'm gonna buy some ads, you know, the LED ads on the freeway, and put your picture on there.
Just put his face up there,
right?
Look
He's
at
like,
this
hey
guy.
man, come see this guy, man. You know what I mean?
I could totally see like a circus. Chris's
Right?
face is
Right?
just like spinning.
Yep. I'm gonna buy banners and stuff. You know what I mean? I've got an account with Vistaprint.
Make it one of those. Make it the image of from Terminator 2 when like T-1000 is
Have
you seen this boy?
Yeah, right.
No, when he's regurgitating himself.
Okay.
Remember, he's,
Oh, yeah.
he's dying in like in the lava pit.
Yeah, in the lava pit.
He's like screaming, and then he's like, it's sort of Pink Floyd-esque.
Oh, that.
Yeah.
No, not that.
Oh, not two.
No,
One?
in part two. There's a
Part
scene
two.
in part two when he's T-1000 is liquefying into the lava, and he's like screaming, and then like he's coming in and out of his own mouth, and he's like melting.
Yeah.
That's towards the
Yeah.
end
Is
of
this
his
the new one?
melting,
Yeah,
right?
it's the 1000, right?
Yeah, T-1000.
Yeah. I know you're talking about, that.
I want that.
Okay, we got that Cyberdyne. Yeah, man, absolutely.
AI
man.
could
We'll
do
get you
it.
that.
I'm sure we could get AI to do
man.
it.
No problem. Banners.
Yeah.
You just check your social media, man. You'll be on there. And I'm like,
Now, are you big? Are you big on what's your social media favorite? What are you, like Instagram? Are you Facebook? Which one are you? Where
you know
can
what?
people find you?
on Instagram.
We got you on the big screen right here, Pablo
Rivera 777. That's when with
If you
with
can
the
see it.
that's
I don't know. Maybe my head's in the way.
my cowboy. Yeah, with my that was I think that was Canelo or whatever.
Oh yeah,
but,
you and I are in my profile picture on Instagram and my Facebook page, my comedy page of us
with the
in
with the
Western.
cowboy.
Yeah.
The Western.
Strangely Western comedy
strange.
night.
Yeah, I'll tell you all about that. I got into the horse racing business, and so I'll tell you that on next time. So, but anyways, Pablo Rivera 777, and then Pablo Rivera on Facebook. I'm on Snapchat, but I don't know, man. I'm kind of like ignorant when it comes to that. I really don't know how to use
What about
it.
YouTube? I think you
I'm
would be
not
big
on-
on YouTube and TikTok with all
tell you
your background and
I'm kind of
film.
late to the party, man. Like I said, when I left the business and I was just, and then I came back, I'm like, what? You can shoot a movie on your phone now? Like, I was kind of like, I felt like Tom Hanks in Castaway when he came back. Like, what do you mean? The Tennessee Titans? What happened to the Houston Oilers? Seriously, like people were just going, yeah, dude, like we can do all this stuff now. I'm like, oh my God. So I'm a slow learner. I'm barely learning all the stuff. So, but yeah, Instagram and Facebook right now, and then and I haven't started posting like some of my sets and whatnot, and doing like I do. I have some funny videos on here that I sometimes I don't know. You just feel goofy, you know what I mean? I start recording myself when I'm driving, but I'm gonna start posting stuff. I haven't done that yet. I think it's a lot of fun. I like seeing some of the other comedians when they post stuff. I'm like, that's pretty funny. So I'll start posting more stuff as time goes on. So.
Yeah,
But,
I haven't
but thank
I haven't been posting on my personal pages. I've been focusing on comedy entertainment and not so funny, KAWmedy. But mainly.
Well, you're also busy too. Busy guy.
Yeah, I'm very I'm still working, and this camera stopped. Hold on.
Okay.
The other camera's working, but there we go.
Right on.
Yeah, so you can catch me on comedy entertainment. That's where a lot of the focus is for Comedy Fest. get your tickets.
Comedy
it's almost
Fest.
it's right around the corner. We've been pumping
May
out all these.
25th.
Check out these really sweet flyers that we've been
Nice.
putting on, getting them out there.
Okay.
and
Yeah.
by the thousands, like it's a lot.
That's
but,
awesome. Yeah, go check it out, y'all, man. It's
Yeah.
like I go to Solaris, man, and some of the comics are there doing their thing, man, and they're just funny, man. They're just super, super funny. So it's gonna.
And
I
the
know it's
beer.
gonna be.
The
And the
Strata,
beer.
The beer is
There's-
phenomenal, dude.
The beer.
I would like when
The seltzer.
yeah the seltzer,
The seltzer.
white
Never been to
noise.
seltzers. I don't
Love
know
it.
why. I remember I just.
But theirs, everything they do is so good.
Oh, really?
I-
Okay.
Their
I don't know.
slushy machine.
You
You,
know
got to
what?
try the beer slushy.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
They have a really, really
A beer
good,
slushy.
Uh-huh. Straight up.
Really?
Yes.
See, I told you.
Yeah.
And that's been a thing, right, for a while, probably.
No.
I don't
Oh,
know.
That was
I-
the
I
first time I
haven't-
saw it was at
I think that was the
Solaris.
first time I'd seen it too.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, a friend of mine lives in Murrieta, and she was it. No, it's probably been about 2 years. And she's like, "Hey, I'm gonna, we're gonna go brewery hopping." I'm like, "Okay, cool." So we came down, and it's like we went to like, oh my god! And I don't really drink anymore. Like that's a whole other story for another show. But yeah, I don't really drink much anymore. But we went that day and was having a beer here. I think I had like 4 beers, and man, I was just kind of like, woohoo! I was feeling no pain. It was fun though. We were going to 8-Bit, and we were going to just some of the other ones.
Inland Wharf and
You know what? I couldn't even, I lost track, but man, it was really cool. And I just, oh man, this is cool. This is a thing now. Because back in the day, we didn't have
aren't they called brew crawls?
Yeah. When you
brew crawls.
usually what happens is you actually walk to all the breweries, and here you can. We've had a crawl before. Yeah,
Okay.
you just like walk 8-Bit. There's Electric. There's
Yeah.
Black Market.
Black Market. Yeah.
Yeah.
Inland
Solaris.
Wharf.
Solaris.
Solaris is the
Yeah.
best.
Yeah, Solaris is awesome. I like it.
Yeah.
I like the place, man. Good. And they have rock shows too, like punk rock
Yeah,
shows too.
punk
All the
rock,
time.
Metal.
Yeah.
I was a punk
And a
rocker
wrestling
back
thing.
in the day.
Wrestling.
Back in '79.
Hell yeah.
I tell you some really cool stories next time too on that too.
All right.
Right on.
Yeah.
Lived right across the street from Legends. Didn't even know it.
Damn.
Damn.
And then Amy, where can everybody find you at?
Usually, yeah. Again, probably the Instagrams is where
Instagrams, yeah.
I'm really hitting it, and then www.abyssicreveries.com.
Yeah.
Outstanding.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
thank
you guys are amazing. Thank you so much. I
thank
appreciate it. This was
you.
fun. This is fun.
This was good.
Yeah.
It's
I was
a good
kind of like I
show.
wasn't sure. Like, man, what are you supposed to do in a podcast? Like, it's like, but this is cool. I really chatter. This is cool. Thank you so much. Appreciate
Yeah,
you guys.
Thank you.
Like,
Keep it going.
subscribe, share.
Yep.
Yeah. Comment below.
That's
Tell us what your favorite thing about AI is and whatever.
AI.
AI is probably going to leave a comment.
Oh my God. Yeah. There's
just
some
put the angry face and like emoji. You're like, that's not good.
conspiracy theories have been around for,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's crazy stuff.
Well, that will end it there. And
Thank you.
We'll see you guys next time. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.